the Atlantic County Board of Chosen Freeholders was provided in the following manner, published in the Press of Atlantic City, mailed to the Current Journal and Hamilton Gazette, Hamilton News. And there's been postings on bulletin boards in county office buildings in Atlantic City here at Stillwater and at the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. Okay. We'll all remain seated for an opening prayer. We thank you for the wonder of your presence each day, Spirit of God. Help us to realize the possibilities within each of us to influence others. In all that we say and do, oh God, keep us focused and help us remember that what we face with you. By your grace, help us to live in ways pleasing to you and helpful to those around us. Amen. We will all face the flag. Attention, salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. How's my background? How's the feedback? Pat, sound good? Yeah. I guess I got to keep this air conditioner off. All right, roll call.
Bennett. Bertino.
Here.
Horsey.
Present.
Days.
Here.
Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Gatto.
Here.
Kern.
Here.
Risley.
Here.
And Formica.
Here. Freeholders, we've all been provided with the minutes of our meeting from July the 21st. Those who were not absent had a chance to review it. Comments, corrections, or additions I'll take, or I'll take a motion to adopt them.
Motion. Second.
Moved and seconded. Call the roll.
Bennett. Bertino.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes again.
I'm sorry. Horsey.
Abstain.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Formica.
Abstained, as I was absent. So we will move on to our health update with Patricia Diamond, please.
Hi, good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you. It's good to be on again to provide this information. Our cumulative countywide positive COVID-19 cases to date are 3,989 with 2,697 recoveries. Sadly, 245 county residents have died. As we continue to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone who is listening and for your assistance in keeping our communities as disease-free as possible. Fortunately, since this spring, we are seeing a decrease in the number of deaths. However, cases of disease continue to occur mostly in the younger population and within families. Therefore, I am requesting your ongoing help in combating this disease. If you can remind yourselves and family and friends of the importance of the following: to try to stay at least 6 feet from other people. When in public, wear a cloth face covering your nose and your mouth. Stay home when you're sick, not feeling well. Clean and disinfect, frequently touch surfaces. Wash your hands often and do not touch your eyes, nose, and mouth. This is ever so important as things such as indoor dining, gyms, and schools are reopening. We are so excited that this is going on, but we cannot forget the need to take these precautions. Our testing information, we continue to offer COVID-19 tests by appointment to both asymptomatic and symptomatic individuals. As you know, no prescription is necessary. The location continues to be on Dolphin Avenue in Northfield behind the public workyard. We are seeing an improvement in the turnaround time, I'm happy to report. However, we are looking at other options for testing. To date, we have tested over 3,000 individuals. The number of positive results from total tests taken at our drive-through continues to decline, with the most recent test results coming in at less than 2%. CVS continues to offer testing in Brigantine and Pleasantville. Southern Jersey Family Medical Center offers testing in Hamilton and Pleasantville as well. And Atlantic Care offers testing through their urgent care throughout the county. We are contacting travelers from quarantine states, and as you know, they come off and they go on in jurisdictions throughout the country. Currently, there are 30 in 3 jurisdictions. So far, we have received reports of 347 travelers and have attempted to contact all. We provide them with education and advise them to stay quarantined for 14 days. We now have 12 case interviewers and contact tracers from the State Department of Health and Rutgers programs. Most of them are actively interviewing cases and contacts. A couple of them are still in training. Some work remotely, others work in-house. They are an enthusiastic group, and we do appreciate their assistance. Because of this help, we are able to actively plan for our flu fall clinic. Also, we are conducting an inventory of pharmacies and other venues, so when anyone calls, we can provide them with that information, because this year, more than ever, it's really going to be important to get that flu shot. We continue to work closely with both public and non-public schools and daycares to assist them in their reopening plans. Updated and or new guidance received from the State Department of Health is forwarded to them continuously. On a weekly basis, the state COVID-19 report is sent to them as soon as it is updated by the State Department of Health. Our region, I'm happy to report, this past week is actually rated in the low risk level. That means our cases per 100,000 were down from the previous week. Our positivity rate was down, and people that are presenting in emergency rooms with COVID-19 symptoms was actually on the decline. So I'm happy to report that. We were also involved with the State Department of Health testing on the homeless and vulnerable populations in Atlantic City, and I'm also happy to report that all those tests that were conducted were negative. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to comments to answer if I can.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Ms. Diamond, are you able to tell us what the transmission rate is lately?
For statewide, the statewide transmission rate, it is actually just under 1.
We don't have that for our county separately?
No, we don't. Freeholder
Okay.
Fitzpatrick.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other freeholder questions?
Mr. Chairman, one
Yes, Freeholder
question.
Leslie.
Thank you. I didn't quite hear all the information on the hospitals. You reported, Pat, that they're seeing a drop. Can you elaborate?
In our drive-through rate, yes, we are. In the number of tests that we actually conducted our drive-through, the number of positives have continued to decline, with the most recent results based on last week's testing was at 2%. When we initially had conducted testing, and that included, just symptomatic, it was as high as 8%.
There's a lot of interference. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else on the Freeholder Board wish to ask a question? No? Anyone in the public wish to speak today to Patricia Diamond, our Leno County Health Officer?
No, Chairman Formica.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pat. We're now going to move on to,
Thank you.
and we really appreciate these updates. I mean, they are, and the news looks encouraging with our statistics. So, all right, let's move on to our next order of business presentation.
New Jersey Association of Counties Foundation Scholarships to the 2020 recipients, Peter Essett and Gershom Badebo. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that correctly, but both students are on the WebEx, Chairman.
Well, thank you very much. I think we have NJAC's Executive Director here, John Donadio. John, are you here?
Yes, sir. I am here.
Where are you at? I can't see you.
I'm. I don't know. I look like I'm in the corner somewhere. On the bottom.
Okay. All right. Okay, I thought you were, okay. Yeah, I see you. Okay, very good. But if you will have the floor now. You can make your presentations.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it a great deal and hopefully I get to see you and the rest of the Freeholder Board in person soon. But again, just want to thank you for giving me a couple of minutes. I'm very proud of the work that we've done at the NJAC Foundation. And really just want to take this opportunity to thank Investors Bank for their continued generosity. Investors Bank alone over the past 8 years have given the association $171,000, of which we've donated 100% of that money to county vocational technical school graduates who are continuing their education right here in the great state of New Jersey. So I just want to thank Investors Bank again for their continued corporate generosity, and also want to congratulate. We had a terrific applicants this year, so I want to congratulate the 2 students and wish them the best of luck for the continued success. So thank you again, Mr. Chairman, and I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Well, thank you. And I believe we also have both of these awards are for 2 students that are at our Atlantic County Institute of Technology. And I believe they're going to go to Atlantic Community College. And I believe that our superintendent of our VOTEC school district is here. Is that right? Is Dr. Gunther,
Yes.
are you here?
Mr. Chairman.
Well, would you like to say a few words about these students?
Sure. These are 2 young men, Peter and Gershom, both outstanding students. Peter is an Atlantic City resident. He was he's our first graduating class from the Aviation Academy, graduated with an associate's degree and is continuing at Atlantic Cape through a program with New Jersey Technology. So he is one of those young men who hopefully will be back to work in the aviation industry in Atlantic County. And Gershom is a student from Galloway Township, and he is attending Rowan University, and he is an information technology student. So with his computer science background, we're hoping he comes back and contributes to the diversification of our economy. 2 outstanding young men. We're very proud of them.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gunther. And I understand that Peter and Gershom are both here. So I'll offer it to Peter. Do you want to make any statements today at the Board of Freeholders meeting?
Oh, can you hear me?
We can.
I just wanted to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much for everyone.
Well, you're welcome. There's not there aren't many times when we get to do very pleasant things. This is always pleasant, giving scholarship money out to students, and especially students from Atlantic County. So you are going to be headed to community college, is that correct?
The class yesterday.
Well, all the best. Any other freeholder comments?
Congratulations, Peter.
Appreciate it.
Okay, and I also understand we have Gershom. Gershom, would you like to say a word or two?
Sure. Can you guys hear me or?
Very clearly.
No problem. Like Peter as well. Thank you all so much. This means a lot. I didn't expect this at all. I got the I believe it was an email or a call, and I was just shocked. So once again, thank you guys. Congratulations to Peter as well. Yeah.
All the best to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're moving on to Rowan. Is that what we're made to understand?
Yes, I just started classes today.
All the best in Rowan.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other freeholder comments?
Good luck. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone in the public wish to make a comment?
No comments.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Gunther. Thank you, Director Donadio. And thank you, Peter and Gertrude.
For all you do, John.
Thank you.
All right, next order of business is interview.
Next is an update, Chairman, on the 2020-2021 school year for the Atlantic County Special Services School District and Atlantic County Institute of Technology by Dr. Philip Gunther, Superintendent.
I didn't get that memo, but I'll take your word.
Right under NJAG.
I do stand corrected. Thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Gunther, you have the floor.
Are you questioning the modality?
At this time, you've probably read in the paper that school districts throughout the county are submitting their reopening plans and working toward opening schools, either in person or a hybrid or using a virtual model. So at the Atlantic County Special Services School District, we on September 8th, with our regular schedule, students will attend 5 days a week in person. And we feel it's very important for those students to be in the building to receive the services that they receive, both the educational and the related services that are available to them. We also have students who and parents who have exercised the option to go all remote. So at Special Services, a little less than 30% of the students will be attend school through virtual technology, and they will access the school. We have provided devices for them, and they also can come to the school for the related services. So if they need physical therapy or occupational therapy or speech therapy, their parents can bring them in. And parents choose virtual for a variety of reasons, not the least of which some students may have underlying medical conditions that make them more susceptible to complications with COVID if we had a problem with that. So Special Services will be 5 days a week, regular schedule, and students will be in person. They will be attending. At ACIT, we have a much larger student population. So our original plan was to divide the school into 2 cohorts and have students attend every other day. We had a plan in place for that, which we submitted. And we ran into some staffing issues at the last moment. We have a number of who are going to take COVID-related leaves, either through the Americans with Disability Act or through the CARES Act. So we have deferred in-person education until October 5th, which will allow us enough time to find substitutes to take over some of those classes. Staff members who are out under the ADA will be able to teach virtually back to the classroom, but we will need to have substitutes monitoring the class while they are teaching virtually. So we are in the process of putting together our staff to go back to the hybrid program, which will start on October 5th. Along with Special Services, parents were given the option to go all virtual. So the student would have a virtual experience and not attend in-person classes. And about 30% of the students did choose that option. However, you know, we like to look at it that 70% want to be there in person. So our goal is to get the 70% who want to be there in person and have that up and running by October 5th for students to start in person. Both of our plans at Special Services and at the ACIT have been reviewed by the Atlantic County Office of Education, and they meet all the standards that the New Jersey Department of Education put forth for schools to open safely. So we have all of the general health and safety guidelines in place. We have all of the personal protection equipment that is needed for teachers and students, and we are ready to open for in-person education institutions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gunther. Any Freeholder questions?
Chairman,
Freeholder Corsi.
my question to the superintendent, I'm trying, you made a good presentation, but I'm a little slow, so you're gonna have to walk me through it a little slow. So, for example, ACIT, are you indicating that they're opening on October 5th, or they have the option to either come in or go virtual? I think I missed your comment.
So we are going to open all virtual from September 8th to October 5th. So all the students will be virtual during that time. That will give us sufficient time to find substitute teachers to supervise the classes for some of the leaves that have been taken, because some of those teachers will be teaching virtually. So we will be able to do that by October 5th. Once we come back and have the program working where students will attend every other day, some students still have the option, and this was provided by an update that the governor gave for the road back that the document that we use to plan our school restart, that parents do have the option to go all remote. So we will have a little less than 30% of our students will probably be all remote. However, that might change because parents do change their minds that they may come back in person, or they may want a student to go out remote. So we are starting on September 8th in both schools. Special services will be there in person, and we'll have some students remote. ACIT will be remote until October 5th, and then we'll have students in the building on an every other day schedule because we are at 100% scheduling capacity. We do not have the room in that building for students to social distance, so we have to bring in half of the students at a time.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, Phil. Any other Freeholder questions?
Yeah, Phil, two questions. One is, did we just not have the same FMLA issue with teachers at special services, or did we kind of centralize the teachers that were coming in across the district to special services so that they could open for those students?
It's a very good question, and actually they have this access to leaves under the ADA and the Families First Coronavirus Act. They have the same access. We just didn't have the same demand. So
Okay.
at special services, we had very few requests for leaves. We had more at ACIT.
Okay, and then my second question is, how are we, I guess, adjusting the curriculum in that first month for a lot of our hands-on type programs? Like culinary comes to mind first, but I know we have a lot of other hands-on programs. So, I mean, how are we handling things where students need to be actually creating something that needs to be graded?
And that is a challenge. Our administrative team, the principal and the curriculum director and supervisors have done a great job of developing curriculum that can be adapted to work online. But we will have our teachers teaching from ACIT. So the chefs will be able to go into the kitchen straight to the students, and the auto technology teachers will be able to go into the shops and demonstrate on that equipment. It's not the same as the students having the hands-on. That's why it's imperative for us to get them into the building as soon as possible. So we have a board meeting in late September, and I will hopefully be able to get all the staff in place that I need to have the students back full time. But we are going to use technology to actually stream instruction from ACIT to the students at home.
Thank you, Phil.
Thanks.
Any other comments? Freeholders? I'll open it up to the public. Anyone in the public wish to
No
make a
comment.
question or a comment?
No comments from the public.
Hey, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
All
if
right. Yeah,
I-
yes, Phil, of course.
before Director Superintendent leaves, what impact, Phil, that would have on social distancing?
I'm sorry, Ernst.
What impact, if any, that would have on students on buses for social distancing in the near future?
So the guidance that has come out from the Department of Education says that students have to wear a mask, and they have to wear a mask on the bus. They have to wear a mask in the building at all times, except when they are eating lunch. And we have provisions for them to be socially distanced when they're eating lunch. On the bus, it says that social distancing should be maintained to the extent that it is applicable. So that means that there are times when students are not going to be 6 feet apart. They're not going to be separated. And busing may be one of those issues. They did an experiment. If all the students were 6 feet apart on the bus, you could get 11 students on a 54-passenger bus. So you could imagine the logistics of trying to work that out. So the way it's going to happen is most of what we are told from most of the bus companies is that they are going to have students every other row. It may be 20 students on a 54-passenger bus, and they're going to do the best they can. But it's not practical to have that type of separation at all times.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Any other questions? Final questions?
Chairman, not for Mr. Gunther, but I think, well, I'm hoping next meeting we'll also have the update from Dr. Gaba on ACCC. And I'd definitely be interested to just hear what to our, and I think culinary and nursing are the only two programs that will be, we'll have students coming onto campus. So just want to kind of confirm that. And then also, I'm hoping that with the order that just came out for indoor dining, that Karems will be able to be operated, outdoors and indoors. And I just didn't know if we're going to do anything. So just, those are a couple questions I would have for ACCC.
Thank you, Freeholder. Certainly, we have to get Dr. Gaba on the line, which we'll try to do next time.
Chairman, she's scheduled to come before the board on October 6th.
Okay.
That's a whole.
It's a whole month.
That's a whole month out.
A little too long.
Well, we meet twice a month. I think that best fit her schedule, but I can call and ask, can she come? Now it's the 15th and then October 6th.
Okay, well, whatever you can do to try to see if her schedule could accommodate us. They're valid questions that we need to have answers to.
All right.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gunther. Now we'll move on to an interview.
Appointment of Matthew DeBella as Atlantic County Library Division Director. And Mr. DeBella is on.
I'm here.
Okay, Mr. DeBella.
Can everyone hear me? I haven't really spoken yet.
We can hear you and you have materialized.
Okay.
So would you like to just give us a little bit about yourself, the job, and what you think of the Atlantic County Library System?
Oh, I've been working for the Atlantic County Library System since 2012. I started off in the Technical Services Department, and then from there I became the branch manager of the Pleasantville branch for about a year. And then from there I came back to Mays Landing to work in administration, and for the past year, starting in 2019, I was the assistant director, and with Regina's retirement, I'm now the director.
Very good.
And yeah, and I've really enjoyed, being here. I've been here for about 8 years, and it's been a great experience. And I'm really looking forward to, directing the library system to serve the residents of Atlantic County in the best way that we can.
Very good. Thank you. How has the COVID-19 affected the operation of the library?
We were shut down for a little while, but, we've been slowly, reopening to the public. First we started with curbside pickup, but now we've started opening up most of our main branches, the county building branches, for 5 days a week. Starting next week, we're going to open all branches 5 days a week, starting the Tuesday after Labor Day. And I'm really hoping in the next 3 months to see how things go. If things continue to open up, I really want to, my goal personally is to get back to a sense of normalcy here at the library by 2021, to where we're open to what we were and providing all the services that we were providing before COVID-19. And that's really what I would want.
Okay, thank you. Any freeholders have any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, I have a comment.
Mr. Freeholder Corsi.
I'm a little confused because the gentleman said he is the director. So he was already appointed. So what was the purpose of having the interview?
No, he means he's the acting director.
I knew that's what he said.
Okay. I'm sorry. I
I knew that. I just wanted to see did anybody else catch that. But I wish him well.
Thank you.
I did catch it. I didn't want to prolong the meeting.
Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Freeholder Days. Oh, was that Freeholder Bertino?
Bertino.
All right.
Thank you. Mr. DeBella, how are you today?
I'm doing well.
What do you think in your new role at the library you'd like to see us maybe adapt, or any new thoughts you have on providing the residents of this county something that maybe it's a little pet thing you've always been interested in seeing occur through the library? Is there anything in particular you have that you'd like to see implemented?
Not that I can think of at this moment, but I'll let Jerry know if there's anything I can think of.
Oh, okay. That was your opportunity, Matt. Jimmy was trying to hand it to you, whatever it was. We don't know what it was, though. It might have been blueberries for everybody, but all right. Any other freeholder comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Freeholder Bennett.
Yes. So Mr. DeBella has very big shoes to fill with Regina's retirement, but I just want to wish him luck. I think he's going to do a fabulous job, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Any other Freeholder comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman.
It's Freeholder Gatto.
Thank you. Matt, hello. Hopefully, congratulations to you in a few moments. Yours is to ways that the library can adapt to our new role. Is to time or things like that. Things that we see parents as a problem. Ideas
I came through a little bit rough. It's hard to hear.
Off mute. So I just hope to see the library have some goals about how do we adapt to the new reality that we're in and services that we're offering. So virtual time, homework time.
Okay.
Okay. So you were asking like, how are we adapting to these new changes, to this new world with the changes due to the COVID-19 or?
I was just saying, under your leadership, I'm hoping that maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you were asking a question. Okay. Okay. I see now.
The one thing Freeholder Bertino that, at some point, Matt and he was involved was this whole library construction bond. The application for all of the county-owned buildings. So, I mean, this will be a big undertaking for us if we were awarded the contract. So that'll be very important. The board voted on it. We submitted it. I don't remember the dates, Matt. I don't know if you remember when they would officially notify the county concerning the library construction bond. Remember, we submitted it, right?
Right.
Well,
all right. Three other comments. All right, then I will take a motion to move resolution 404 to the top of the agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
And seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
If that's making all that noise in the background, I'm gonna have to oppose myself. Thank you.
Okay. Resolution 404 read, please.
Appointment of Matthew DeBella as the Atlantic County Library Division Director effective September 1, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder comments? Any comments from the public?
No comments.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto. She said yes. Okay. Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, congratulations, Matthew.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, you're no relation to John DeBella, the DJ, are you?
No. He spells his name differently. If you look
Okay.
it up, he spells it differently, so not related.
Just checking. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, Matt.
Thank you.
We'll talk. Okay.
All right.
And now I'm going to move on to our printed agenda. Resolutions grant.
Resolution 385, amending resolution number 289, adopted July 7, 2020, a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Health for the Public Health Infrastructure, Laboratories, and Emergency Preparedness Grant for program year 2020-2021, net increase $331,000.
Motion.
It's not.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Any public input?
No public input.
All right, we'll call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 386.
Amending resolution number 230, adopted April 16, 2019, a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Military and Veterans for Veterans Transportation Assistance. Net increase $4,248.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder input? Public discussion?
No public input.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, moving on to 387.
Amending Resolution Number 390, adopted July 2nd, 2019, the Atlantic County Consortium Annual Action Plans for the Community Development Block Grant Program, fiscal year 2019, Annual Action Plan to include CDBG CV funds, no additional amount.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Anyone on the Freeholder Board wish to discuss this? Public discussion?
No comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 388.
Amending Resolution Number 272, adopted April 30th, 2019, a grant agreement with the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration for the Hope One Enhancing First Responder Access to Overdose Treatment Program, no additional cost.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder discussion here?
No comments.
Any public information? Public comments?
No public comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes. Yes.
Days, Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 389, please.
Grant application to the State of New Jersey Division of Elections for the 2020 COVID-19 CARES Act, amount not to exceed $484,543.83.
Motion to cover the
Second.
project.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder comment? Public input?
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Freeholder Risley?
Yeah, does this encapsulate all the primary costs?
I think
Bonnie, I don't think you have all the costs in yet, do you? So why don't you explain what you've submitted so far, Bonnie?
Right. So we've accumulated expenses from the clerk, the Board of Elections, and the Superintendent of Elections. And we are still in the review of those expenses. The application is on a rolling basis. So if we need to increase this, we can increase it. We'll do an amendment. And it's a reimbursement-based grant. So as we pay these vendors, we can submit requests for reimbursement on a rolling basis. So I believe that it's a majority of the expenses, although we do have some salary expenses that still need to be identified.
Thank you, Bonnie.
What do you
Answer your question, Freeholder?
What do you anticipate the salary expenses to be? Ballpark. You have that or not? No?
Well, I just want to say, Bonnie, they just submitted to me today that they have to do inputting of about 6,000 provisionals. So, I mean, I just saw this myself, and they submitted something to me that I have to give to Bonnie in the morning. Then they've outlined a series of days that they have to work overtime. And so they say they've been told they're allowed to submit those against the primary. So Bonnie hasn't seen that yet. I mean, I'll give that to Bonnie in the morning, but they're talking about maybe anywhere between 5 and 10 people for another week or 2 weeks to do all the inputting of these provisionals from the primary to get them into what they call the state registration system. I want you to, yeah.
So right now what you're saying is we don't have figures, but we have bodies and hours that we need.
That's correct. And I only jumped in because Bonnie doesn't know that because they just sent that to me. And I've got to give that to her in the morning so she has an idea about what more they want to charge against the primary.
Thank you. Any other Freeholder comments? Public input?
No public input.
Please call the roll.
Hold on, Formika, I think Freeholder Fitzpatrick was trying.
I am sorry.
That's okay.
Fitzpatrick.
I was muted. Thank you. I just want to clarify, am I hearing that we have 6,000 provisional ballots from the July 7th primary that haven't been entered into the database? Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, you have to go into this thing called the state registration voter registration system. That's correct. And you got to get them in October 5th when they mail out a ballot to every single household. So that's it.
Now I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
All right, any other comments? We'll call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formika.
Yes, I'll take a motion to combine and adopt 390 and 391.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Moving on to 392, please.
Professional services agreement with various land surveying companies to establish a pool to provide survey services. Amount not to exceed $135,000 for all surveyors.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder discussion? Public input?
No public input.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formika.
Yes. Okay, moving on to bid contract, 393.
Bid contract with Downtown Airport Incorporated for the provision of aerial spraying services for the Department of Public Works, Office of Mosquito Control, amount not to exceed $111,805.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder input.
Chairman, if I may, through you to the administrator.
Freeholder Corsi.
Jerry, just a question. I thought last year, or early part of the year, we awarded a 3-year contract for spraying. Is this a different one?
Yes, and Mr. Abdul is on, our mosquito director. He went through this yesterday with the board. So if Doug wants to come on, Doug, you want to go through that?
Good evening, everybody. New contract that we awarded earlier, helicopter inspection. For pesticides, and it's solely a action to prevent any interference or intermittent mosquito activity or mosquito spraying if the state happens to have budget issues in fiscal year 2020. They're going to have to be the raise they approve for us, because these were asking for from the state air spray program. Now, at this point, we're back in smack dab in the middle of their fiscal year, so I do not see any major reasons for us to have difficulties getting services from them. But I'm thinking it's a good idea just to make sure we do not get into the situation where we have mosquito populations coming off of our salt marsh and presenting the possibility of nuisance and the greater danger of disease that can be transmitted.
Okay, thank you. Freeholder Corsi, does that explain that?
It doesn't explain, but I think I got the legits of it. I guess, let me just, again, Chairman, through you, to Jerry or to Doug, when this spray does take effect, will we do, I believe we've done it in the past, notification of various communities when the spray will take place?
Absolutely. The fact that the county would take over the cost of the does not change the notification requirements through the state and through the FAA. So all communities and residents who have concerns about the pesticide applications or who are beekeepers, they would all be notified as we always do.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. Any other freeholder comments? Public input?
No public input.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 394.
Amending Resolution Number 121 adopted February 26, 2019, an agreement with the City of Atlantic City pursuant to the County Municipal Open Space Partnership Program to extend the term date, no additional cost.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any freeholder discussion? Public input? Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 395.
Amending Resolution Number 257 adopted June 2nd, 2020, an emergency contract with Icofano Group Limited Liability Corporation for the purchase of frozen meals and shelf-stable meals to the Atlantic County Division of Intergenerational Services Nutrition Program participants to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. We're extending the term date here. Any freeholder discussion? Public input?
No public input.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 396.
Cooperative bid contract with Constellation New Energy and Direct Energy for the purchase of electricity pursuant to the terms of the awarded contract by Camden County on behalf of the South Jersey Power Cooperative. Amount not to exceed $3,094,278.42.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder discussion? Public input?
No input.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 397.
Amending Resolution Number 402 adopted July 16, 2019, a shared services agreement with the Atlantic County Special Services School District to provide educational services at Harbor Fields Detention Center to extend the term date. Net increase $46,728.78.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder input here on extending the term date and an additional 46,000? Public input,
No public input.
please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Horsey,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Gatto. Did she say yes?
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 398.
Shared Services Agreement with the New Jersey Juvenile Justice Commission, Office of the Education for the provision of educational services at Harbor Fields Detention Center. Amount not to exceed $425,912.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder questions?
Chairman, again, through you to Jerry. Are we a go-between from the state government for money for Harbor Field, or is this coming out of county funds?
This comes out of county funds. We negotiate with the Juvenile Justice Commission to run the facility. And we've just negotiated with them to take over education. They're presently in the building, as you know, there are two portions of our building. There's Southern Residential and there's a detention side. Southern Residential is a rehab. And so what happens is they're already in the building doing education. We began conversations with them to determine whether or not they would do the detention as well. And they've agreed to do that. We've had conversations with Dr. Gunther and the special services. You know, there's a lot of things going on right there now. So we figured it would be better to give it to the Juvenile Justice Commission who does this for a living, teaches these types of kids. So that's what this is. Mr. Freeholder Corsi.
You're on mute, Freeholder.
I'm sorry, Jerry, thank you for that. Is there any way that we can get grants for this, or we just take this out of our general funds that's budgeted anyway?
The only
A couple of years ago, I think I asked the same question and you answered it, but I can't remember what happened yesterday. That's why I'm re-asking.
Oh, no, that's fine. We do get education money, and the way the education works, it's like in a school district. Whatever the population in Harbor Field on October 15th, we get $4,500 per student if they're non-adjudicated, and we get $9,000 per student if they're adjudicated, and we have to match the $4,500 with county tax dollars. So like right now, I believe there's 18 kids in there. So if this was October the 15th, we'd be reporting 18 kids. If none of the kids were adjudicated, it would be 9,000 times the 18 kids. We would pay 50% of it, and the Juvenile Justice Commission would pay for 50% of it.
Thank you, Jerry.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Public input.
No public input.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes. Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Formica.
Yes, 399.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the Atlantic County Utilities Authority to provide carcass removal and disposal services for the Atlantic County Animal Shelter. First year, $4,500 plus tip fees.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, Freeholders? Public input?
No
Call the
public
roll.
input.
Call the roll,
Bennett?
please.
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 400.
Shared Services Agreement with the Atlantic County Utilities Authority for the operation and maintenance of pumping stations at Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center and Lake Lenape East Park and the grinding at the Atlantic County Justice Facility. Amount not to exceed $159,271.78.
Motion. Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder input. Public? Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto, Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 401.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness to provide Atlantic County with cybersecurity information and support, no cost.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any board input? Public input?
No public input.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 402.
Amending Resolution Number 218, adopted May 5th, 2020, an intergovernmental services agreement with the City of Pleasantville for the provision of security services at the Pleasantville branch of the Atlantic County Library System, amount not to exceed $55,000.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder comments? Public?
No.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick, Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 403.
Bid contract with Tri-County Security to provide security services for the County of Atlantic, amount not to exceed $1,492,320.64.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Public input, I'm sorry, freeholder input on the security contract.
Chairman,
Freeholder Corsi.
once again, through you to Jerry. Jerry, this number seems to be a little bit higher than last year's for outside security once again. Do you recall the number from last year? This number just seems high to me.
1.2 last year.
1.2.
Yeah.
So what was the big increase?
Well, I just think we added a few extra positions in was originally in this building and over at Stillwater and Shoreview. So I mean, and again, they put an increase in. You do know though. I mean, if you look at this bid is roughly $300,000 less than the next lowest bidder. And it's roughly 700,000 from the third bidder. So I mean, and it's actually it's not too bad considering it was last year's was 1.2. This is like 1.449. So it's roughly about $133,000 more per year. That's what I've estimated it at. So
Yeah, I understand that.
yeah.
For $130,000 more dollars.
Yeah.
How many more security guards did they bring on? And two is, I'm still
Yeah.
under the belief. I know the administration agrees with me, but I'm still under the belief that this could be done cheaper with the sheriff's department. We talked about this. Y'all believe that it cannot be.
Yeah.
But for almost $1.5 million, that is a whole lot of money. And for an additional $100 and something odd thousand, what are they paying starts, and how many more did they add on?
Or they've added on. But if you're asking me what a sheriff's officer would be, a sheriff's officer, I think we did this once before. If you take a young officer that's married, we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of roughly 60 to 65,000. For an armed guard, we're talking roughly $42,000 to $44,000. So we're talking like $20,000 to $24,000 more for a sheriff's officer.
I understand that, but
and if you put in, okay, and if you put in one that's experienced, and so you got to remember they don't put in a new guard, a new sheriff's officer. They always put in the experienced guys. Those guys are, anywhere between, I would tell you salary wise, between 40 and 50,000. Plus, then you add the benefits. So we're talking between $75,000 and $80,000. We still 44 for the and they're retired police officers for the security. So you're talking almost $35,000, $40,000 more for an experienced sheriff's officer in our building.
Jerry, let me ask you this. I'm not going to support the resolution because I think it's a little too high for the board anyway. But saying that, did we ever look into class 3 officers? It would still be cheaper. I know we talked about it the last couple of years, but again, almost $1.5 million. I still like to, and I'm not going to support it, but I still like to know tomorrow if you can get me the number. How many additional employees did they hire for almost $150,000?
Let's make sure you understand the 1.5 is over 2 years. Just so you know. Yeah, it's 2 years. Yeah.
I'm not reading that in this.
Yeah, it's a 2-year contract. Yeah. I just want you to make sure you understand it. So, the number is 746,160 for a 1 year period, right? It's the total $1,492,000 for a 2-year contract.
If I could.
Okay. I'm reading the agenda and not the resolution itself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It speaks to a 2-year deal.
Yeah. Correct.
It's 1 year for $1.5 million.
No.
Okay.
And is some of that budget extending services to Pleasantville's library?
Library pays for their own because it's a separate taxing district.
Okay, I just wanted to ask that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but Frank, why did you throw out Pleasantville?
Because it's on our agenda and it's $55,000 a year. I just asked a question and it's clarified.
That didn't have anything to do with security, though.
It was for the provision of security services.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to throw a low ball in there. I'll get you back for that later.
Okay.
I want to address the issue. So the cost at the library, that 55 is not to exceed. For example, this year it's only $42,000. County council decided to, and rightfully so, he did a 7-year contract. So what happens with the library, he's built in a not to exceed number so that as we go through the years, we don't have to go in and come back and amend it. But as of this year, it's only $42,000.
Thank you, Jerry.
Okay.
Any other discussion for you? Public input.
No public input.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Horsey,
Jerry cleared it up. I'm going to vote yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto. Gatto,
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, because my questions were answered.
Kern,
Yes.
Bisley. Okay, for Mickey.
Yes. Okay, we did 404. Moving on to we have to add this today?
Yes.
Okay. I'll take a motion to add 405 to today's meeting, please.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Resolution 405, please.
Resolution in remembrance of Richard Stephen Link, sponsor Ernest D. Coursey.
Elder Coursey, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. To Chairman Famika, I thought it would be appropriate that the members of the Freeholder Board express our condolences on behalf of your entire family to unfortunate passing. Just want to commend the Atlantic City Police Department and the neighboring community police departments who attended the services on Saturday. Well attended. I got to tell you straight up, and I'm not going to belabor this, I could not find anyone in the Atlantic City Police Department that could say an evil word about this young man. But I thought it was important that the board members of Freeholders express our condolences to you, as well as your entire family and your sister. So I thought that would be the appropriate thing to do.
Thank you, Freeholder. I did let my sister Roseanne Link know that you had put forth this resolution today, and she's most appreciative. I would just say that he was an exceptional young man, 28 years old, and he took his job very seriously, and he put a lot of pressure on himself. But I would just say that the Atlantic City Police Department in particular, they left something for our family to remember for a long time. Any mother, father, aunt, or uncle would have appreciated the eulogy that Chief White gave, and we're most heartfelt appreciative. Thank you very much. Okay. So I guess we'll, any discussion on this further? I guess then we'll call the roll.
Bennett?
Yes.
Rutino?
Yes.
Coursey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
With my deepest and appreciation for
Kern?
Yes, with my sincere condolences to the entire family.
Risley?
Yes, with sympathy.
And Formica.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That brings us to the end of our printed agenda. Reports of special committees are next. Anyone wish to make a report? Seeing none, we'll take any unfinished business. Seeing none, we'll take any new business.
Chairman, I want to bring attention to keeping track of what's happening with that's being proposed.
Can you text her?
Freeholder Gatto, you're coming out distorted. I don't know if you maybe lower your volume on your speaker. I don't know.
I think it was because Sonia was not on mute. I don't know. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Go back on mute. There we go. Okay, hopefully that's better. Just want to make sure everybody is paying attention to the proposed increase to the boat tax that's coming down the pike. I would be looking to bring a resolution to the board at our next meeting against this. This is an important industry to Atlantic and Cape May counties in terms of manufacturing of boats and businesses that we have here. In particular, Mahogany Company comes to mind here in Mays Landing, and all of the associated industries. It would for sure drive boat sales out of New Jersey, and that's not something we need to happen at this time. So just something to put on your radar for a future meeting.
Thank you. And can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you. That's well put, along with the fact that we went from being one of the lowest gas tax state in the country, and we're going to increase 10 cents here very shortly. We are going to be the second highest gas taxed state in the country. You may want to make a mention of that as well. Anything else in new business? Well, as everybody knows, we started our 25% indoor dining for our restaurants, many of which will probably not make it through the winter. You'll see reports in the paper tomorrow that iconic places like Angelo's Fairmount Tavern will not even open because they cannot support their staff if they had 25% every night from now to the end of time. The restaurant is set up for 100 meals, 100 seats, and they have to turn that twice a night. And I think that's going to be a sad story that we will hear repeated over and over again. So although we all appreciate, and certainly there is some feeling that the governor has relented and allowed the dining to open, I do believe that our words and our actions were helpful in moving that from what he said was going to be a 2021 idea to being opened this week. So we're happy about that. Thank him for doing that. But what I'm getting in feedback from the Casino Association specifically and from the restaurants is if they can't get to 50% really quickly, you're going to see more of what Borgata did, which was lay off over 2,000 people, and this is not a temporary layoff. I understand that it's complicated. I think we just have to be mindful of this because we have never fully recovered out of our recession, so to speak. We were almost there, and we got kicked back down the stairs, and we need to have everybody partnering together with our businesses in Atlantic County, whether it's Atlantic City, offshore, anywhere. I believe the governor's office should be listening to us, that it is life and death if we can't get these places open to a higher capacity. And just a couple of comments. I mean, I found it very odd that last year, we paid out every single transportation company after March 15th that was contracted for a school, and they did not bring one child to school for 3 months. Very odd. And I find it odd this year that they're allowing children to sit on buses 55 at a time with a mask. This kind of inconsistency is what makes business people crazy. So the 50%, and it should be moving forward based upon just taking a walk down an aisle in Home Depot or Lowe's. Anyway, I'll take any other comments. Thank you.
Chairman.
Yes, Freeholder Fitzpatrick.
About a different subject? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Yesterday was International Overdose Awareness Day, and Atlantic City's Recovery Force organization had an event at McClinton Park at 6 o'clock. It was well attended, even though it was sprinkling on people. Very emotional and impactful event. And I just wanted to thank the administration for allowing Recovery Force to rent the park. It was a great location. Being at the ocean was very soothing through all of those stories that we heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. That is certainly a subject that touches all of us, I know. And maybe next year we'll have it better attended. I would have liked to have been there. So anything else in their new business? As we know, September, I believe, is also Suicide Prevention Month. And like me, a lot of us know, have been touched by that. And it's also Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So if we can, at least get the word out, somebody says, well, what good does it do to bring this awareness to the public? That's the only way anything gets done, is to bring the awareness to the public. That's the only way that the masses move. Government moves the way that people feel. And I think it's a good thing that we keep making people aware of this. Any other new business?
Chairman?
Yes, Freeholder Bennett.
So thank you for bringing up Suicide Awareness Month. As all of you know, I am a crisis counselor in mental health, and what we have seen with mental health because of the pandemic is a significant increase in the utilization of services across the spectrum, whether it's inpatient, outpatient, substance abuse services, youth services. Our hospitals have seen a greater increase of crises. In fact, mental health has, in one weekend, filled up an entire emergency room. And one of the things that I have become aware of, a number of different organizations and constituents have reached out to me about the governor's budget in regarding mental health services and the potential negative impact on youth services. Many programs are threatening to potentially be cut. Youth school-based services in a couple of different counties. And so as I am hearing this information, and I will continue to do my due diligence on this, but should that actually in fact be true, I will be looking to bring a resolution to actually ask the governor to increase mental health services, given what has happened with the pandemic and the just amount of devastation it is taking on that community.
Thank you, Freeholder. And I do believe that I can't imagine any government reducing mental health resources at a time like this. So please keep us aware of that. Anything else under new business? Okay, we've all received some types of correspondence in various modes. Does anyone wish to discuss correspondence today? Seeing none. Is there anything for the good of the order?
Chairman?
Yes, Freeholder Gatto.
Just to mention, and when we're talking about awareness months, it's also Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. So please just take a few moments to understand the symptoms and have your regular checkups with your doctor. Mitigate your risk.
Chairman,
Thank you,
there's no public comment.
No public comment?
No.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
Y'all just gonna skip me?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble seeing here.
All right, I yield to Mr. R over there.
R squared, you got it.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Chair, yesterday, myself, and I don't know who else was able to attend. I know Freeholder originally was there. The memorial service for Brigantine Mayor Andy Simpson. It was a tremendous outpouring of love and support, not only for Andy, but for his family as well. For a gentleman who had an immeasurable amount of love for the city of Brigantine. So I just wanted to ask if we could have a moment of silence at this time for Mayor Andy Simpson.
By all means, moment of silence. Thank you. Anything else for the good of the order? Freeholder Corsi, did you have something to say?
I have a whole bunch to say, but I'm going to condense it as much as possible. I have a multitude of things I like to talk about, but the hour.
You got my number, right?
Yeah, but I lost it. But on a serious note, one is that I see that Pleasantville, that a hearing date has been set for 2020 for Absekin's petition to leave Pleasantville School District, which is going to be heard early part of next year. So that has been an issue going around. Absekin wants to move their students from Pleasantville to Absegami. So that would be a definite negative. wise for the city of Pleasantville school board.
Let me get that straight. So Cedar Creek School District is trying to take students from another district?
No,
I can't believe it.
Yeah, but if you recall last year, Holy Spirit, strike that. Absecon wanted to move out of Pleasantville because all the in-house fighting that was taking place.
I get it.
And that hearing will be early part of next year, whether they will be granted that opportunity to leave the Pleasantville district to go to Absegami. The other thing is, Chairman, I just want to hit on a couple of things. One is that just a reminder to all of us that we do have the 911 service coming up in just a few days. We certainly hope that folks will attend wherever they may have a 911 memorial. As you know, we have one in Atlantic City at Jackson in the boardwalk, the last street in Atlantic City, because we lost 2 people in Atlantic City. But we remember all of those who lost their lives in 9/11, and we certainly want to keep all of them in our prayers and thoughts, as well as their entire family. The other issue, Chairman, I just want to also, I did not know until after our last meeting that Howard Cow had retired from the County of Atlantic as the Chief of Staff to the County Executive, which was a shock to me. Probably most of y'all might have known it, but I did call Jerry. I was kind of taken back that Howard had retired, but he has certainly been a beacon, if I may say that, for Atlantic County, for this administration, and certainly to the residents of Atlantic County. And we certainly wish him well in his retirement and his endeavors. Howard is one of those guys who will not sit still, so you probably see him come back as a consultant or something else in the very near future. But I think all of us, from county executive down, can appreciate the work that Howard has done on behalf of everybody here in the county of Atlantic County. And so, again, we wish him well in his retirement. And then finally, Chairman, I just want to say, once again, I cannot thank Pat Diamond enough for what she has done on behalf of Atlantic City residents regarding the testing sites. As of last week, the state took over, and we now in the senior buildings, there is a set schedule. And then after they do those, they will go to the general public. I think it's very important that people continue to adhere to what they're saying about masks, social distancing, etc. But moving forward, we do not want this to pop back up where everything becomes a moot point again and everything shut down. I am going to be meeting with the new president tomorrow, actually on the tour of Bogota tomorrow. That was shocking news to hear today that they were going to be laying off 2,300 plus employees in a difficult time. Most of them had already been out since perhaps March, and finally got the opportunity to go back to work, and now they are out again. As I often say, they're the working poor. They pour our coffees, they make our beds, they park our cars, they work 2 jobs, they take 3 buses to get to work, and now they get hit with this type of news. It is certainly not good. None of us are safe, let alone sacred, because it could be any of us tomorrow. So whenever we can lend a helping hand to our neighbors and friends, let's try to do that. And so with that, Chairman, I'm done with my remarks, but I just wanted to bring those couple of things to light. Thank you so much for yielding the time.
Thank you, Freeholder, without a doubt. Anyone else with something for the good of the order? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Have a good day.